So how many of you are excited about today? Okay, for those of you that don't know and are looking at me like I've gone crazy, this is the last Sunday of the month. The last Sunday of the month, the kids are with us. And we always do a kids movie. And today it's Cars 3. How many of you are excited about Cars 3? Well, by the end of this, even you old folks that are staring me down like I've done something wrong ought to be right with me, because I'm going to make this apply to you, because you need to be doing something from this sermon today that many of you are not doing. And so we're going to be talking to everybody today. Now, last week, what did Roman talk about? Being a Christian is like driving a car. Well, not like this, though. What you saw there was the beginning of Cars 3. Lightning McQueen is one of the fastest racers in the circuit. He and his friends have been racing against each other for years. When Lightning first started, he was very arrogant. But when the fabulous Hudson Hornet, that's the black car you saw, when the fabulous Hudson Hornet named Doc, or Hud, came into his life, things changed. Doc was the best racer on the circuit when he was racing. He holds the record for the number of Piston Cups won. But he wrecked in his last race, and he never raced again. Doc became Lightning's mentor. But in Cars 3, we learned that Doc has passed away. So Lightning dedicates this race to Doc. In fact, he says, "This one's for you, Doc." Now, I really like this movie. I mean, what's not to like? Fast cars, lots of adventure, ups and downs. It's just a really cool movie. Not only the fact that I've seen it about 100 times with Bella. She loves it. But one of the reasons I like this movie is because it talks about being in a race. And do you know the Bible tells us that we are all in a race? 1 Corinthians 9:24 says this, "Don't you realize that in a race everyone runs, but only one person gets the prize? So run to win." And that is what Cars 3 is about. It's about running the race to win. But in Cars 3, we learn that we can't do that alone. That is why Doc is so important to Lightning. He was Lightning's mentor and helped him not only win on the racetrack, but to win in life also. Doc helped Lightning to become a better person. In this next clip, you're going to meet what some people call the villain. I don't think he's a villain. His name is Jackson Storm. Jackson Storm is a young, new generation racer. And what Jackson Storm is doing is he's trying to get into everybody's head so that they can't race as fast so that he can win the race. So sometimes we look at him as a bad guy, but he's just a guy in life that doesn't know what he's doing, and he's trying to be the best that he can and use every advantage to win the race. Watch this clip. I love that. I think I touched a nerve. You see, Jackson Storm, it's just like Lightning McQueen when Lightning was young. Jackson Storm is arrogant. He knows how fast he is, but he wants to get that edge. Storm has just beaten the 3 best racers on the circuit, including Lightning McQueen. And now Lightning McQueen wants to meet him and just congratulate him. But Storm is trying to get into Lightning's head. He says, "You have no idea what a pleasure it is to finally beat you." Not meet you, but beat you. And Lightning is stunned at what Storm says. And Storm knows it. In fact, when he was getting into his truck, he says, "I think I've touched a nerve." And that's exactly what he was trying to do. Do you know what? That bothered Lightning. And in life, words can hurt. In fact, the Bible tells us in the book of Proverbs, careless words stab like a sword. Did you know that it takes 7 positive statements to overcome 1 negative? 7 positive statements to overcome 1 negative. Let me ask you a question. How many negative things have you said today? Okay, if you said 1 thing negative, I want you to stand up right now and say 7 positive things. Okay, no, we're not going to do that. But think about that for a moment. Too many times we use words as a weapon. And the Bible tells us they stab like a sword. They can kill. They can knock you down. And if you say something to someone and you know it's hurt them, it's time for you to go and apologize to them. And even if you said something and you didn't mean to hurt them and you find out it did, you still need to go and apologize and ask for forgiveness. Words have meaning. Words can hurt. Lightning has let the words of Storm bother him, and it is affecting every part of his life, including his racing. Watch what happens to Lightning. You see, Storm wins the race. But did you notice how Storm used words again to get into the Lightning's head? He said, "Hey, McQueen, you all right?" Seems like he's being nice to McQueen. But then he adds, "Listen, don't you worry about it. You had a good run. Enjoy retirement." Again, Storm gets into Lightning's head. And it affected him so much that he crashed. It could have ended Lightning's racing career, but we learn that an encouraging word can have positive effects. You see, we all need encouragers in our lives. And without encouragers, well, we could just sit at home and pout and just worry about what's going on in our lives. The person who's the encourager in this next clip happens to be Lightning McQueen's girlfriend. Her name's Sally. Watch it. If you don't love Mater, you just ain't alive, okay? Mater is just one of my favorite characters. Sally, she's a lawyer. She's Lightning's girlfriend. She's trying to encourage him to keep racing. Try something new. If the old isn't working, try something new. Boy, we all need that in our lives, isn't it? We try the same old thing and the same old thing and it doesn't work and we just keep doing it. Well, let me tell you what. I cannot tell you what doing the same old thing over and over and over again and failing really means. But I can tell you this. if it doesn't work, try something new. And how about this? Some of the wisest words I've heard. Sally tells Lightning, don't fear failure. Be afraid of not having a chance. And you know, that's why we don't do things in the church, because we fear failure. That's why we don't do things individually, because we are afraid we're going to fail at it, or we're not going to be good at it. When in actual truth, if you got a chance, you ought to take that chance and do it. You know, we learn more from our failures than we do our victories. So when you fail, you can go, well, you can't do it that way, I'll do it this way. And you try something else. It's amazing what you can find in a kids' movie, isn't it? Don't fear failure. Be afraid. Be afraid of not having a chance. What chance have you given up? What chance have you not taken it for God? And it's time for you to step up and take those chances and quit being afraid. Hey, Sally, that's great advice. She's a wise lady. Something. Do you remember the words I read for you from Proverbs? Careless words stab like a sword. Well, the rest of the verse says this, but wise words bring healing. See, there's always two sides. An encouraging word from you may bring healing into someone's life. Instead of being negative, you need to be positive. Instead of telling people the negative things, you need to tell people the positive things. You need to encourage people, because when you encourage people, when you let them know that you love them, it brings healing into their lives. Too many times we're negative when we should be positive. Sally and her wise words of healing is exactly what Lightning needed. Who is it in your life? Maybe sitting next to you. Maybe you have a friend at work or you play racquetball with who needs an encouraging word. We all need to be encouragers. So Lightning started training again. He's training in an all-new racing center, Rusty's Racing Center. And it's got all the coolest, latest gadgets you ever did have. He's got more gadgets and better gadgets and newer gadgets than Storm does. And he's so excited about it. He's so excited about it that he's going to get to train like Storm and then be able to finally beat Storm. The problem is all the new gadgets didn't work. There's a race simulator, and he just wanted to get on that race simulator. And one thing that we learn is when he gets on the race simulator, he wasn't ready for it yet. And when he got on that race simulator, he got nervous and he started wrecking, and before long, he actually breaks loose from the simulator and crashes. Sterling is there. Sterling owns, he just bought Rusty's and bought the number of Lightning. He was now Lightning's sponsor. He was paying for everything. He decided what happened in his life. Well, after he saw him crash and found out it wasn't working, Sterling tells Lightning, it's time to quit. It's time for him to stop racing and help him sell mud flaps. But Lightning talks him into letting him have one more race. The deal is, you give Lightning one more race. If he wins, he gets to keep racing. If he loses, he quits racing and starts to sell mud flaps. And that's what he'll do for the rest of his life. Can you feel selling mud flaps? That's the way I felt when God called me from being a police officer to a pastor. It's not as exciting. I can't tell you what to do, and if you don't do it, I can't arrest you now. That ain't no fun. But I found out that being a pastor is more exciting than actually being a cop. So, he decides he's going to start to train to win this race in a different way. He's going to do it outside. He's going to get his tires dirty. And Sterling, to help him out, sends a trainer along with him. Her name is Cruz. She's the yellow car you're going to see here in a few of these clips. Cruz is with him, and Cruz knows she's never been a racer. She's always wanted to be a racer, but she's never been a racer. She's a trainer. So she doesn't know how to race out in the real world. She knows how to train in the Rusty's training center. So when she gets out there, she's failing and everything's going wrong, and they're trying to think of what's going on, trying to be better. Now, Cruz, when she was small, was inspired by Lightning McQueen. She wanted to be a racer like Lightning McQueen. And so one time she got on the track to race, but when she got there, she didn't look like all the other racers. She didn't sound like all the other racers, and she didn't feel like she could do anything like the other racers, so she quit before the race started. And she drove off the track. She went home and talked to her parents, and her parents told her, dream small. Oh. Words hurt. They have meaning. They stab like a sword. And when she was told to dream small, she did. She thought, well, the only thing that I can do is become a trainer. Even though I want to be a racer, I'll just be a trainer and that's it. While training outdoors where Lightning thought he could get better, he saw a sign for Thunder Hollow. Thunder Hollow was a racing track that Doc raced at, where he won some of his piston cups. And he found out there was going to be a race that night, so he decided, hey, I'm going to go join this race. And so Cruz takes him to the race, and they get on the track, and all of a sudden they close the gate behind him, and Cruz is out there too. And they tell him, nope, once you're on the track, you're going to race. And they write a 20 on her side, so now she's a racer. The problem is, this isn't a normal race. This is a demolition derby. A figure 8 demolition derby. And Miss Fritter, an old school bus, likes to run people over. In fact, there was a time called where a car would be almost disabled and be sitting there, and she'd yell out, "It's fritter time!" And they'd shine a spotlight on that car, and she'd get up and run over that car really bad. But the problem is, with a demolition derby, the car who wins is the only car left on the track driving. So that means that everybody is out of the race and crashed. And Cruz wins the race. She's the only one out there able to drive. And she wins the race and she's excited about it. So watch what happens after the demolition derby. At this point in Lightning McQueen's career, he's only worried about one thing: winning the next race. He doesn't think about what he's saying. Remember, words hurt. And he hurts the very one that is trying to help him. He hurts Cruz. He tells Cruz, who always wanted to be a racer, who was inspired by Lightning McQueen himself, he tells her, if you were a racer, you'd know what I'm talking about. But you're not, so you don't. And he puts her in her place. Cruz is hurt. And she quits being Lightning's trainer. But Lightning had a good mentor. Remember Doc? Doc was his mentor. And he taught Lightning a lot. Not only about racing, but about life also. So Lightning finds Cruz. He apologizes to her, and she agrees to go with him to find Smokey. Smokey was Doc's mentor. Smokey helped Doc when he first came in as the fabulous Hudson Hornet. And you see Doc, or Smokey calls him Hud, you see Doc was very cocky when he came into the racing also. And Smokey helped Doc. Now Lightning is hoping that if he can find Smokey, he can help Lightning become a better racer. Mentoring is an important part of each and every one of us. Something that each and every one of us needs to be doing. Did you hear what Nick said? Our youth needs 7 mentors. If you want them to stay in church after they turn 19. Dr. Woody Stevens, who worked at the General Church of the Nazarene as Sunday school superintendent, big director guy. I knew him as pastor in Colorado Springs, at Colorado Springs First Church of the Nazarene. He was my pastor. And I loved Woody, and Woody helped me a lot. But Woody Stevens, Dr. Woody Stevens says this: who are you mentoring, and who is mentoring you? Who are you mentoring, and who is mentoring you? Folks, you may be 90 years old. You may be 70. You may be 60. You may be 50, 40. But you are not done. If you think you've been put on the shelf, get off it. It is time for you to use the wisdom that God gave you and become a mentor. And you don't think you can mentor one of these kids because you're 90 years old? Hey, you love your grandparents, don't you? I look like a grandparent, don't I? Oh, quit laughing. And if you don't think you can mentor one of them, how about finding another person to mentor? Each and every person sitting here today needs to be a mentor. And each and every person here today needs to have someone mentoring them. Well, Lightning and Cruz find Smokey. Watch what happens. Did you see that? Smokey tells Lightning racing wasn't the best part of Hud's life. You were. If you think your life is over and there's nothing you can do, you could not believe a greater lie than that. You see, when we start mentoring someone, they become part of us. And their victories become our victories. When we mentor someone, we get so close to them that when they hurt, we hurt. And when they fail, we help them do better the next time. You see, the best part of Hud's life, the best part of Doc's life was not winning races. It was mentoring Lightning McQueen, a cocky, arrogant racer when he first met him. Did you see the look on Lightning's face when he saw the wall plastered with all those newspaper articles? He realized how much he meant to Doc. You see, investing ourselves in others is not only the best thing that we can do, but it is the only thing that we can do that will last for eternity. Did you hear that? Investing ourselves in others is not only the best thing that we can do, it is the only thing that we can do that will last for all eternity. You can win all the races you want, and when you die, it's over. But if you invest yourselves in others when you die, you can see that person in heaven with you. And that's what mentoring is all about. So who are you mentoring? And who's mentoring you? Smokey trains Lightning with the help of Cruz. And Lightning enters the race of life. But halfway through the race, Lightning realizes that he's not the only one that should be racing. In fact, it is Cruz that should be racing for him. So he calls her back to the track. And at the next pit stop, they paint the number, Lightning's number, on her. And they send her out on a track to race in his place. Cruz is in third place. Jackson Storm is in first place. Storm decides. Did you see what happened? Yeah. Cruz won the race. But that's not what I'm talking about. Something much more important happened than that. Lightning became Cruz's mentor. Did you see it? He was the one speaking encouraging words to her when she was on the track. He was the one that gave her the wisdom to be able to win that race. And when she started to fade, he told her that Storm was intimidated by her. Lightning says, Storm sees something in you that you don't even see yourself. You made me believe it, Now you got to believe it. You are a racer. Lightning becomes Cruz's crew chief or mentor. So the question is, who are you mentoring and who is mentoring you? Okay, so let me stop right there a second, okay? Let me tell you the end of the story, okay? Because Lightning McQueen started the race as 95. He shared in the win so he didn't have to go sell mud flaps. He could keep racing. But you know what he did? He became Cruz's crew chief. He became Cruz's mentor. So listen. The theme throughout this movie, Smokey mentored Doc. Doc mentored Lightning. Lightning mentored Cruz. It is the natural progression of things. When we are mentored, we become mentors. And when we mentor someone, they become mentors. So the question here, as we are all running the race of life, who are you mentoring and who is mentoring you? And I would venture a guess that there's a high percentage of you that don't have a mentor and are mentoring no one. It's not the way the church should work. So I'm going to give you a couple of minutes here before we pray to end. And I want you to bow your heads, close your eyes, and talk to God. And ask Him to give you somebody to mentor. But not only that, but ask Him to give somebody to you that can mentor you. Because you need to be mentoring someone, whether it's a young adult, a middle-aged adult, or one of our teens. You need to be mentoring someone. And then someone needs to be mentoring you. Ask God to supply both.